There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. Fear is not going to be something that that's going to be what drives our country. We're not going to be scared of Muslims or immigrants or women. We're not actually afraid of anything. Trump is actually a result in many ways of the fact that much of the news programs didn't follow up and ask tough questions. The ratings go up because they can show up empty podiums saying Donald Trump is about to speak.
There you got George Clooney yesterday at the Cannes Film Festival. Donald Trump himself joins us live right now from somewhere in his empire. Mr. Trump, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, at least he's right about the ratings. That's the good news.
The ratings do go up, but I think you would disagree. You've been asked a boatload of tough questions.
I think I get asked the toughest questions on earth. I mean, I will tell you, nobody asks tougher questions than they do to me, or that's all gotcha. Even you guys every once in a while get awfully tough, but that's okay. I mean, that's okay.
Well, what's your message to him? I mean, he says you're not going to be president. Jeb Bush, member, said you're never going to be the nominee. But what's your message to him?
Jeb Bush said, I'll never be the nominee, and Jeb Bush is right now sitting home watching television. And, he also signed a pledge, Jeb Bush, and he's dishonoring the pledge, so he's a dishonorable guy. Lindsey Graham actually was very nice. He called me the day before yesterday. We had a nice talk. I was very surprised, but he was very nice. We talked on national security. As far as George Clooney is concerned, let's put it this way. He's no Cary Grant.
All right, yesterday was the big meeting. Yesterday was the big meeting in Washington. You sat down face-to-face with Reince Priebus and with Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan still walked out without an endorsement. Does he plan on endorsing you in the future, and when will that happen?
Oh, I would think he would. And, if that didn't happen, I would continue on the way I've really done. But we had a great meeting yesterday. He's a very good guy, very nice guy, and very committed to, what he's doing and to the country. And I think he feels... Hey, look, I've gotten more votes, as you people have very accurately reported. I've gotten more votes than anybody that's ever run for the office of president in the history of the Republican Party. And by the way, we still have probably 10 states left, California, New Jersey, many, many states. And so we'll break the record by many millions of voters. So, that's a tremendous thing. We have a tremendous, there's something unbelievable happening. It's a movement. And it's a movement toward common sense. It's a movement to get out of being the stupid leadership country. I mean, what we have in leadership right now is, we call it the stupid leadership. They don't know what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing.
Well, Mr. Trump...
And it's an amazing thing to see. So we had a great meeting. I thought it was a really good meeting, and I think over a short period of time, things will come together.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, Donald Trump doesn't need Paul Ryan because you won without Paul Ryan. You beat the Bushes, you beat governors, you beat senators, and you wound up with all these votes and new people who have not been part of the party.
Well, I think you might be right. I'd rather see unity. I mean, I'm a Republican. I'm conservative. It's the Republican Party. I'm conservative. Some people say I'm not conservative on trade. I said, really? Tell me about it. I'm more conservative than anybody on trade. I am an actually free trader, but we make all bad deals. Our country's losing money. We'll lose with everything. I mean, you look at China. They're going to have a $500 billion this year trade deficit with us. I mean, we've rebuilt China because of stupid negotiations. So, look, and that's true with every country. We don't make with anybody virtually. So, when it comes to trade, you know what my trade is? Very simple. Make good deals for the United States. That's my trade. Make good deals.
Right. Let's move on and talk about something we talked about together on the radio that's going to get a lot of news, and that is your Muslim ban. You said, we're going to stop Muslim immigration until we find out what the hell's going on, you said. And then you said, you walked back the other day and say, listen, that was a suggestion, but you're going to put together a commission headed by Rudy Giuliani. Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah, it was a suggestion. Look, anything I say right now, I'm not the president. Everything is a suggestion. No matter what you say, it's a suggestion. I feel strongly we have to do something about, when you look at radical Islamic terrorism, we have a president that, as you folks know very well, we have a president who won't even use the term. Right. For the World Trade Center, he won't use the term. And we have to do something, and you're not going to do something about it until you know what the problem is. I've spoken to Rudy Giuliani. We're going to put together a group. We're going to look at the problem. We're going to study the problem. It's a temporary ban. I feel very strongly that we have to find out what the problem is. When you look at San Bernardino, when you look at Paris, when you look at all of these horrible, horrible acts of hatred This is pure hatred. We have to find out and get to the bottom of the problem before we can solve it.
So, Donald Trump, who's on this panel? How big is it? What is the task exactly? To look at Muslim immigration, Muslim Americans? What are you going to be doing? What are they doing?
I would say to look at Muslim, immigration, and also immigration generally. I think
All
we'll expand it a little bit. We're talking about immigration across the border. We're talking about the problems that we have, tremendous problems we have on the southern border with the drugs pouring through, with people coming through the borders like Swiss cheese. You know, what's happened, I don't know if you saw it, but a week ago, 16,500 Border Patrol agents endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Yeah.
First time they've ever endorsed a president before.
But Rudy's focus is on Muslim immigration, right?
Muslim, but I also want him to take a look at the southern border, and we're going to put together a really stellar group of people.
Okay.
Rudy will be the chairman, and he should be able to come back. You know, he moves quickly. He should be able to come back quickly.
All right, so all immigration. Donald Trump, Wall Street Journal did a story yesterday, and it's the cover of the New York Post today, where it talks about a blonde bombshell. Apparently, the Clinton charity has committed $2 million to Energy Pioneer Solutions, a company owned in part by this woman right here, a woman by the name of Julie McMahon, who describes herself as a close personal friend of Bill Clinton, lives in Chappaqua, not far from the Clintons, and apparently she has denied repeatedly being romantically involved, but she is the woman who has been rumored to have been dubbed the Energizer Bunny by the Secret Service in Ron Kessler's book, The First Family Detail. And he says you don't stop her, you don't approach her, you just let her go in. And apparently she has timed her arrivals and departures to Hillary's schedule. I'm wondering if you'd like to weigh in on this blonde bombshell story.
Well, I know it's a rough story, and a lot of people know about it, and people have been talking about it for a couple of years. And, you know, that's right next to my golf club. I have a great club up there, Trump National Golf Club, right literally a few minutes away. And people have been talking about that for years. I have no idea what went on. I certainly don't.
But when it comes to the foundation and money given to a company from the foundation, a charity, is there something there that deserves further investigation?
Well, I assume you put the word charity in quotes. I hope you put the word charity in quotes, right?
Well, nonprofits are not supposed to act in anyone's private interest, and apparently Bill Clinton, in addition to, you know, the foundation committing this money to this company that she owned in part, apparently he went to bat with the Secretary of Energy and asked for them to wind up with some money. And I think the Energy Department, the feds, gave the company $812,000.
Wow, it's a bombshell. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, her dad's a millionaire and a donor to the Democratic Party, and her charity provides energy savings to rural America, families that can't afford their energy payments, and making energy more efficient for communities.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But is that going to be an area of your focus, the Clinton Foundation?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. You know, she's been playing the woman card, and I have to hit her back whenever she does that. It's all nonsense when she gets up and she reads off a teleprompter something about women. And nobody has more respect for women than I do, and I think you folks know that, but nobody has more respect for women than I do. But I think this is a bombshell, and people have been talking about it for a long time.
Well, the Washington Post is sending 20 reporters after you. Let's see how many they put on this.
Right. I wanted to ask you, to the Obama administration sending letters to every single school district now, allowing transgender students to choose their bathrooms, and they're saying that if schools are not on board with this, they could lose federal funding and they could face lawsuits.
Well, I think this should be a state's issue. It's become a huge story, and yet it affects, and everybody has to be protected if it's one person, but it's a tiny, tiny portion of the population, and it's become a massive story. I think this should be a state's issue, and as many other things should be, by the way, and the state should decide.
Do you think boys, the way their gender, they should use the bathroom of the gender they were born with?
Well, right
Same with
now,
girls?
Brian, it's a new issue, and right now I just don't have an opinion, but what I would like to do is I would like to see the states make that decision.
Lastly, Donald Trump, everybody talks about what these lawmakers said to you. What did you say to them? And where do you think what issue do you have to go the furthest to come together on?
Well, I tell you, it really was a good meeting yesterday with Paul Ryan and the group. We had a group of really terrific and very well-known congressmen and women. We had a terrific meeting. I mean, it was a very friendly meeting, and I think, you know, if you look at platforms, nobody agrees 100% on a platform. When you run for president, you take a look over the years, there are always things where there's a difference between the platform and maybe the person's views. But I think we are very close on many of these things. Look, on trade, it's good deals, as I said. On other things that, we're talking about, I'm very strong on the border. I think most of these people are pretty strong on the border.
But they're for the TPP. Paul Ryan's for the TPP. You're not.
I am not for the TPP. I want a much stronger deal. I want a much better deal, and I want a deal that doesn't allow other countries to manipulate their currency, and TPP does not cover that, which is a huge problem.
Wow.
All right. It is a huge problem. All right, Donald Trump, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you very much.
We should also point out we did invite Hillary Clinton and also Bernie Sanders to be on the program today, and they declined.